We're back at the Antinori Tignanello estate in Tuscany, where the Super Tuscan was conceived. Super Tuscans are made from the traditional Sangiovese grape, but are blended with other non-traditional red grapes, mainly Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. Tignanello was the first Super Tuscan, and even today it is still one of the best.
Toasted bread with the olive oil. Tignanello, actually, the first vintage called Tignanello was 71, but we really made it before. Actually, we made a wine called Antinori with a special writing at the bottom of the label that was written Podere Vineyard, Tignanello, in 1970. We weren't really convinced it was the best it could be, so we didn't release the wine under the label that we have today. And this is basically the same label we've had since 1971. What we did is we went into the vineyard and we picked the grapes and we made the wine, just from that vineyard. But in that vineyard we had some white grapes. We had some Malvasia, about 15–20%. That's a lot of white grapes to go in a red wine. It doesn't really make any sense, at least it didn't to us. So we said, okay, get rid of those white grapes, replace them with Cabernet. So today, that percentage of white is now Cabernet, and we have 80% Sangiovese, 20 Cabernet in the vineyard that we still call Tignanello. We still call the name Tignanello, named after a family who lived in a house, which is still called Villa Tignanello on top of the hill. It's actually on maps. That's where the name comes from. Actually, the name of a family who lived in the house on top of the hill. And the house has a very interesting story. We won't go into that.
Tignanello derives much of its character and flavor from the unique white stones that line the vineyard.
And they're stones that belong to that earth. We go into that earth and we, with our land movers, or what do you call them, bulldozers, sometimes even dynamite, and we bring out the huge stones underneath and then we break them down. And these stones in this area are white. So it's still indigenous.
In a little valley within the Tignanello vineyard is a tiny strip of grapes that have a unique flavor profile. These are the grapes for Antinori's other celebrated limited production Super Tuscan called Solaya.
One cellar, which to me is one of the most important teeny-weeny little cellars, but considering how big Antinori is, we do have some wines that are very, very small productions. This is we call it the dormitory. The sleeping cellar for Solaya. This is the whole production of Solaya 2004 is right here.
About a 20-minute drive from Tignanello along a rough dirt road is the nearby village and abbey of Passignano. Here is the vineyard for Antinori's beautiful, pure Sangiovese Chianti Classico Reserve wine. Here as well is the Antinori wine shop, and right behind it is the Osteria di Passignano. This world-famous country bistro creates seasonal Tuscan cuisine out of food products from various Antinori properties from around Italy. The celebrated chef Marcello Crini staffs his kitchen with promising young talent from around the world.
Steak tartare.
Mike, how did you end up here in the kitchen of the Antinori bodega?
I met Barciulli, the chef, in Yountville, and I asked if I could come over here.
You've been having a good time?
I have been.
Purple.
Thank you.
Water.
We start our lunch with Cervaro della Sala, a wine from nearby Umbria. This honey-colored beauty is a blend of Chardonnay and the Umbrian varietal Grechetto.
So we try to produce from our own. That's a beautiful preparation. That's tempura prawns. This is a mullet, fish done in a crust of black olives. And then this is a puree of the Tuscan beans with tomato and some herbs in it on the bottom. Beautiful.
This pumpkin risotto is topped off with pomegranate seeds and a special pecorino cheese.
This is a very interesting kind of a cheese. It's a cheese that is buried underground for a while. It's an old traditional way of hiding the cheese together with all the other valuable things you had in the house when the bad guys were coming. It's a true story. This is a good part of work.
Yeah, working hard today.
That's amazing.
Our main courses are equally stunning, like this wild boar with chestnut pasta.
I'm here again.
We pair it with a Chianti Classico Reserve, the ultimate Italian food wine. And of course, there is a stunning dessert.
Chestnut mousse with hot fudge, and this is a homemade cannoli. I think you do a little of that.
The Osteria di Passignano should definitely be one of the culinary highlights of any trip to Tuscany.